Of all the virtues throughout history, the only one that cannot be falsified is courage. One can fake wisdom, justice, and even temperance. However, at some point in life, it is inevitable to confront problems, and for this, courage is indispensable. Courage is not confused with madness or taking unnecessary risks, nor does it mean absence of fear, anger, or sadness. It consists in the ability to act correctly, regardless of the circumstances. A brave person can feel fear, something perfectly natural, but still act according to their beliefs and needs in each situation. Running away from problems is useless, because it only makes them bigger. True courage lies in facing obstacles, overcoming them and turning them into opportunities. We have the example of Hercules upon reaching maturity. In a moment of doubt about the direction to follow in his life, he fell asleep and had a revealing dream. Two paths opened before him, and from each emerged a woman, on one side virtue, and on the other, pleasure. Pleasure said to Hercules, "I will lead you on the sweetest and easiest way, where you will not need to give up any pleasure. You will live without knowing the difficulties and sorrows, enjoying immense pleasures with the minimum effort necessary." The pleasure promised a comfortable life, full of shortcuts and without challenges, where the work would be minimal. After the proposal of pleasure, virtue said, "I will show you how things really are. The gods grant nothing to men effortlessly. If you want to achieve something, you will have to fight to conquer it. If you want all of Greece to admire your courage, you must do something meaningful throughout Greece. Virtue has offered you a challenging path, with possible rewards and great sacrifices. Hercules chose virtue. His life was not easy, but full of purpose. He did hard work and made many mistakes along the way. He bravely faced everything he needed to do until he reached divinity. Like Hercules, historical heroes choose the path of virtue, and courage is essential to acting with virtue. In this video, we will cover courage, the second of the 4 historical virtues. Possibly you already know the history of the Battle of Thermopylae. The Persian army of King Xerxes, with 300,000 soldiers, threatened to destroy all of Greece. Faced with the disorganization of the Greek armies to defend themselves against the Persian invaders, the king of Sparta, Leonidas, decides to confront them to gain time while the Greeks were organizing. Due to religious issues, he cannot lead the Spartan army into battle, so he sets off for the Thermopylae Gorge with 300 men from his personal guard. They knew it was a suicide mission, 300 against 300,000, with no real chance of victory. Yet they understood that was what they needed to do. It was their duty as Spartans and Greeks. They were probably afraid of the prospect of dying, but they did not demonstrate and did not allow it to influence their decision about what was right. This is courage, facing a complicated situation that will push you to the limit, and despite this, act correctly and face the problem head-on without running away from it. The 300 Spartans perished at Thermopylae, along with King Leonidas. However, thanks to their sacrifice and courage, the Greeks were able to organize themselves at Salamis and Plataea, where they defeated the Persians. The bravery of the 300 Spartans saved all of Greece. This story is a striking example of courage. Legend has it that Leonidas was a descendant of Hercules himself. Undoubtedly, both are clear examples of historical bravery. History did not intentionally seek risk or place itself in dangerous situations. Although they did not avoid danger or unpleasant situations, when something more important was at risk, they did not hesitate to face them. For the historical, courage is fundamental to develop the other 3 virtues: wisdom, justice, and temperance. To act rationally requires wisdom, justice, and temperance, and to act rationally, one must be courageous. It takes courage to confront one's ego, fight prejudices, and seek truth, courage to recognize mistakes, even painful ones, courage to deal with external opinions, courage to pursue goals, and courage to accept the necessary changes. To cultivate our courage, we must focus on 3 aspects. The first is to work on our sense of responsibility. Reflecting on things under our responsibility and understanding their meaning is essential. Being responsible for something means caring and protecting, and also taking the blame when something goes wrong. We can't be brave without being responsible. In the history of the 300 Spartans, those who went to fight understood that they are responsible for protecting and defending their city and the people who live in it. Facing such a numerous enemy only makes sense when you recognize that responsibility, regardless of personal feelings. Many people's lives depend on them facing fear. Secondly, it is essential to understand what is under our control and what is not. There are countless situations that cause us fear, but which do not depend on us. It is important to discern what we can control and what we cannot. Historical courage stems from questions like, if something that scares me is completely out of my control, what sense does it make to be afraid of what I can't control? If the actions of others are not under our control, why fear them? If the external cannot harm us, only our own thoughts can affect us. Why fear what is external to us? Histories reflected on these issues so as not to be afraid, for example, of poverty, public opinion, illness, or even death. A historian is not brave just because he is brave. He is not afraid because he realizes that there is no reason to fear. Thirdly, I recommend that you practice courage in everyday actions. There is no person less fortunate than the one that diversity forgets, because he does not have the opportunity to test himself. Courage must be exercised daily through small actions in the routine. Challenge yourself to leave the comfort zone, daring little by little to accomplish things that do not leave you totally at ease. It is essential to get used to being brave, because at some point, we will all face situations that will require courage to overcome them. Do not allow these situations to surprise you unprepared. Train your courage daily. So, what did you think of this virtue? I await your reply in the comments. I hope this video inspires you to become more courageous in the face of situations that require such a posture. Remember that courage means doing the right thing, even if you are afraid or facing circumstances. Therefore, courage must always be accompanied by prudence. It is about acting with purpose, taking risks for a greater good. I encourage you to put this historical virtue into practice, just as Hercules and Leonidas did. We're always bringing you life-changing content. So if you want to keep up with everything we've prepared for you, sign up now. And do not forget to leave your like and share with those who also seek inspiration and personal growth. I leave here 2 additional videos for you to continue learning about Stoicism. And if you want to delve into the subject and develop virtues that will transform your life, I will leave some recommendations for essential readings in the description and comments. See you in the next video.